updates. There's like a bit of a delay. So, but we are officially live now. What I'll do is actually always get my phone up quickly because I can see on here whether the live is actually live.
Okay.
Because it just takes a little bit. Oh, I think we are live. Hello, hello, hello. Is there people here? People are in the chat. We've got Lego. Lego has come through.
Yep, there she is. I see her.
There she is. Our only fan.
I know, right?
Nobody else.
Our loyal fan there.
Yeah. Kristen, I'm about to start my workout and watch. Tiva, hey guys, how are you doing? Hi, Mom.
Oh, hey. Showing my age there. Her hair does look really good.
Thank you. I actually made a GT. Welcome, Felicia Abbott. Good mornings. Good evening here. I'm having some alcoholic beverages.
My daughter's getting me iced coffee from Starbucks. Oh, speak of the devil, she just walked in the door.
Did she? Ooh. Yes, Mum. I cut my hair. Hold on, let me show you properly. But I can't hear a word people are saying now. But yeah, there we go. I've got a bob. Do you like it? Do you approve?
Yes.
My mum doesn't know because she's not on social media. She's like, you cut your hair. I'm like, oh yeah, I did. Sorry. I'm so late, but I'm at work. You're not late, sweet on your love. We have literally started 2 minutes ago.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, your haircut looks amazing.
Hello, a nice new haircut you have there. Thank you very much. I like it too. I'm very happy with it. I'm having my protein pancakes. Nice. I like protein pancakes.
Me too.
Curled up bad. Looks nice, pretty. Yeah. What's your favorite protein pancake? How do you make yours? Tell us the secrets.
I use the PB2 powder in mine, and then the Walden Farms no calorie full of chemicals syrup. That one.
Yeah.
And then bananas on it too.
So, what do you use it with whey protein?
No, I don't use it with whey protein. I can do it with pea. For some reason, whey protein really upsets my stomach because because I remember I don't have a stomach from that surgery that they botched. So stuff affects me differently. So I usually do pretty good with pea protein in that, and then just a ton of egg whites.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So I think people are gradually starting to come in. I can see Green Gypsy Bear, Gia Monroe, Wanderlust, Petcha, Amy G. Lots of people are coming through. Awesome. Hi guys, how are you all doing? See ya, Kyla. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments about my hair. I'll let them come through the hair comments because it's something new, isn't it?
And her nails, you need to be like, and I got my nails done too.
I did get my nails done. I did. It's so nice. If you haven't been out to do things like this for so long, just the simple pleasures of being able to go outside and get your hair done and get your nails done. I know it's completely unnecessary, but it feels great to get it done though. It's not a necessity. I get it, but it is wonderful.
Yeah, I remember here when the lockdown first happened, and they, obviously salons were not considered essential, and I had gray to here by the time I got it done, and I'm like, we need to talk about what's essential because this is
lots of people are commenting about the hair. So what I think I'll do before we get into it, so we're going to do some reactions, guys, but before we do that, I'll introduce Tieia. So Tieia has been on my channel for basically pretty much since the beginning, and she's always been in my comment section. Then we ended up talking privately, and now just via DMs and stuff like that, as I did with many of you guys. And then we just ended up talking on the phone pretty much every day via just messages because of the time zone differences. And Tieia is I find her very inspirational because she's been through a lot of things. She's had a lot of surgeries. She's battled obesity. She's battled cancer. She's a mom. She's had skin removal surgery. She's been through a lot of things that people struggle with. And later in life, when did you start doing weight training?
Okay, so I got back into weight training after being out of it so I'm 47. So 1991, 92 was when I left college. And then I weightlifted and got back in shape like for my honeymoon in 2004. And then that was it. So after 2004, when I came, back to the United States and stuff, I didn't weightlift. So it's just been since August of 19, I got back into it. So about 16 months.
So what made you What made you get into weight training to start with when you were a lot younger? Because you did like actually competitions, right? When you were in
high school and college.
So what made you get into it then? And what made you get into it now? Sort of 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago.
Okay, so what made me get into it then was I was an athlete all through high school, and I had to take PE. But because I was an athlete and I varsitied my freshman year, I was able to take the weightlifting class because I was like, oh, the cool kids are going to the weightlifting class. So I went into it, and then I was really good at it naturally. Like, you know, the guys didn't want to weightlift me because I was beating them. And so I just loved it. And I loved the feeling of being strong. And then, you know, everybody likes to get first place and win. And then my coach in high school had, he was friends with the coach at the, University of Arizona. And he came down. I didn't know who he was. I just thought he was my coach's friend. And it was basically my audition, my tryout for the team. And I went in there and I weightlifted with the coach. And then he came and talked to me and he's like, hey, we want to give you a spot on our team at U of A. So that was that. And I just loved it. I just loved the feeling of being strong. I loved competing. I loved the camaraderie of having teammates and all that. And then I got back into it when I finally got my crap together 16 months ago. And I just went back to weightlifting because that's just what made me feel good. I like being strong. And I know that having more muscle mass is going to help me burn more calories and get as lean as I want to get. And then also because I'm almost 50 and women have bone mass issues. Like, you know, you weightlift, that's gonna help with your bone density. And I feel so much better, and weightlifting makes you look better. It firms things up. I mean, you know, gravity is not my friend right now. So, you know, it helps pull everything up. And I just weightlifting is great. I think everybody should do it. I do. Even if somebody is more like, you know, the cardio queen, do it 3 days a week. Just do like a little bit of total body 3 days a week and get in there and just get your pump on. Yeah,
I agree. There was a question about where you've lived overseas. I know about Korea. I'm not sure if you've lived anywhere else.
No, just Korea. And we had an opportunity after Korea. We were there for 2 years, immediately after Korea, to go to Germany. And Bob asked me, he's like, what do you think? And I was just like, I want to go where there's a Target. Can we please go back to America? So we came back to the United States and we went to a little town in Oklahoma called Enid. There was 40,000 people. But that was actually his favorite job. We were there for 5 years, which is pretty unheard of to be in one place for so long. And then from there we came here.
Yeah.
I'm in Vegas.
You're in Vegas now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So I think what we'll do is we'll start in a second with the first video where we look at Joan MacDonald. As the videos play, I'll kind of prompt questions. And then I think at the end, we'll open up like a Q&A towards the chat. Because guys, when I'm chatting with a guest or we're streaming something, it's very difficult for me to try and keep an eye out on what you guys are saying. I do keep an eye out, but I can't respond as well as pay attention to what my guest is saying, because obviously, you know, they're a guest. I need to pay attention to them. I do keep an eye on it, and I'm sure, like, I've got some mods here, so worst comes to worst, I'm sure it'd be fine. But, you know, moderators know what to do. Tieia does have a channel. If I haven't linked that, I'm not sure if I linked it in the description. I may not have done. If I haven't done so, I'll be sure to link it after this video in the description. I've shared her on my community post before as well. And she has started doing a couple of reactions, but it's not really like Amber or Foodie Beauty. It's more just transformations and stuff like that. I think you would do really well if you did them. But at the same time, it's one of those things that I would wait a bit, establish yourself, do some what's it called? Do some of your vlogging, do some different reactions, and then like here and there. At the end of the day, YouTube, it's a game. You have to play it in order to do well. So it's all well and good, but just you know what it's like. We're friends. You know what it's like, so you know what you're getting yourself into. So it's completely up to you if there's something you want to do. So I think what we'll do is we'll start off with the Joan MacDonald transformation. I haven't actually watched this yet, and I figured I'll wait for us to do it together and with you guys. So what I'll do is I'll get the screen share ready. Let me know if you can't hear it.
Okay.
The chat as well. If you can't hear it, let me know.
I can see the chat. I can see it on the screen. I can't comment on the chat, but people are saying really sweet things to me. And you guys, I appreciate that so much. You have no idea.
So let me get up this. Now, I'm not too sure. So basically, I can't, pardon me. Once we get into, I don't think I can have both of them up. Can I? Am I being stupid? I think if I minimize this screen, what will happen is that you can't see the screen share properly. I think. Maybe. Shall we try it? No, no, because it's sharing this. No, it's sharing this screen. I'm being dumb. So once I go into the other screen, I can't see the chat or you at all. So if you want to say something, then let me know, and then I'll just pause the video. There must be a different way of doing this, but I could just be a complete idiot, which is very possible because I'm not that tech savvy. Right. Let's. Yeah. Were you going to say something?
Oh no, I was looking. There's someone in the chat who sweet on your love. I've never weightlifted before, but I'm doing the 8-week Phoenix program and I love it. That's freaking awesome.
Oh, good.
Having a first time person, but that's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. There's a couple of first timers, so it's totally cool.
Great.
All right, let's see how this goes. If I can play it.
I love Joan
MacDonald, and I started this journey of mine, the transformation, almost 3 years ago.
My daughter Michelle came to me and she was on the verge of tears.
Let me just.
And she said that I have a choice here. Mom, you got a choice. Either you're going to end up in a hospital.
I don't know what's happening.
Needing a lot of care.
I can't pause it.
Do this. You can make yourself better. And I'll be there for you.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Sorry, I think basically what it is that I can't connect to I'm connected to the Wi-Fi, but it's far away, and this computer is rubbish, so there's a bit of a lag. But could the chat? You could all hear it, right? Can you put a 1 in the chat to confirm? Sound is on. Okay, thanks, Tiva. So I'll just go back to it, and then if you want to stop it, say it, and then I'll just come back to this screen, and then otherwise I'll stop it if I have something to say.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, it's a bit annoying. All right, let me just try and see if I can get it from the beginning. Let's just go with it.
The transformation almost 3 years ago.
Wow.
It amazes me. She's at 70. She started.
70. She started training. That's insane, isn't it?
I mean, when people say to me, I just feel like, I'm too old and, it's kind of too late for me. It's never too late for anybody. I mean, you don't have to go into the gym and deadlift 500 pounds. You know what I mean? You can. I mean, when I started out, I remember she would hand me the 10-pound weights and I felt, offended and, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. And 10 pounds is still like pretty decent depending on what exercise you're doing if you're completely new to training. But the great thing is that once you start training, you'll be really surprised by how quickly your strength will progress, especially if you have a good training or a good training plan and you're feeding yourself properly and you're not overtraining. Your strength will progress really, really fast. And also when you start training and you're new to it, especially, newbie gains is a thing. So you're more likely to get quick results the first 6 months if you do it properly, if you have good nutrition, good training, if you're fairly strict. You don't have to be like bodybuilder regimented, but just, bear in mind you're trying to, you have to be dedicated, right?
Yes, for sure.
Result comes from hard work at the end of the day. So the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. But in the first 6 months, especially if you work with somebody in person, you can get a lot achieved, especially if they do nutrition side of things well.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like you said, consistency is the thing, and it doesn't happen overnight, but it's pretty darn quick, especially like you said, those newbie gains. Like you'll start seeing results within the first month, and other people will notice it too. Within 4 to 6 weeks, people will be like, "Are you doing something? Because you look better or you look different." Yeah, for sure.
Right, let's go back and see what else she has to say. She's much bigger here, huh? You can really tell the
200
difference.
pounds, like holy crow! I didn't realize.
And what,
Wow.
5 foot? How tall is she?
I think 5'2" or 5'3".
Yeah,
she's
that's
tiny.
that's quite
My
heavy.
daughter Michelle came to me and she was on the verge of tears, and she said that I have a choice here.
Her daughter is really beautiful.
Her
She's
daughter's
got
really
a crazy body.
Yeah. Oh my God, she is in such good shape. Like, how great is that she had her daughter as her coach now? You know.
Yeah, that's like something like that can be testing though. Like I don't know, like training your partner or your family, it can be hard. But if it works for them, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they seem to have a good relationship. I know they travel together a lot too.
That's Joan has become like a proper like Instagram fitness model. You've gone on her
Yeah.
Instagram. She's always like drinking like these ads, like the drinks for like ads, and then she has like the designer gym wear. She could go to that really cool beach gym where it's like all the wooden things, you know?
Yes, she has her Instagram's really cool. Yeah, she's got it going on.
Can you imagine, like so late in life to just truly experience so much? That's amazing.
It is amazing. It gives me goosebumps every time I see her. She's really inspirational.
Definitely. All right, let's.
Mom, you got a
Bit
choice.
of a delay.
Either you're going to end up in a hospital needing a lot of care. You can do this. You can make yourself better, and I'll be there for you all the way.
I don't know what it is, but there's something about the deadlift that's just so powerful, and they are difficult. But the second you learn how to do a deadlift, I don't think there's anybody that doesn't like doing deadlifts because it just makes you feel so strong.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then, it's amazing. I don't know how heavy like that bar and plate, but it's like, it looks impressive, but like really at the beginning, you can use dumbbells in your hands and deadlift, and it does feel great. I mean, yeah, there's nothing like that. So I think squat is my favorite, but deadlift's definitely a close second.
I think deadlift is my favorite, but only because I'm better at it. Like my squats shit. Because the thing is, I have one leg that's shorter than the other, and I just have like awkward hips. So when I stand, actually, I stand slightly like that, whereas obviously my feet should be like this, and I do stand slightly off. So I keep having to adjust my squat, and every time you adjust your squat, it's just such a precise exercise that if you change something around, you have to drop the weight by almost half to then progress up again. On the quad side, I can squat quite deep now. So before, I basically squat ass to grass with as heavy as I can, up to a certain weight. About 80, 90 kilos is like up ass to grass. I've done heavier. I think my heavy is like 130, I think. But it's kind of like barely parallel. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you feel a bit unsure. But at the same time, really, you don't have to squat heavy. You don't really have to do anything super heavy to make like leg gains or booty gains. I actually believe that I actually find that doing sumo deadlifts are much better for glutes and hamstrings than what a squat is. But a squat is a fun exercise to do. If you get it right, it's just difficult. Same as deadlifts, really.
Yeah. When I was in college, what my injury was, what got me out was it was leg day and we were doing squats. And, when you're powerlifting, your sets are like, it was 3 sets of 3. I did my first set and I had super wraps on, which if you don't know what super wraps are, you basically need 300 pounds on your back to bend your knees because they hold you really tight. And I did the set and I looked at the guys and I was like, my knees don't feel right. And
don't tell me you dislocated when you do that.
And they're like, shut up and lift, Tieia. And I was like, okay. So I just left my wraps on. You usually take your wraps off in between each set. And I left them on. I did 2 more sets. I took my super wraps off. As soon as I took them off, my knees were like a balloon, blew up. I blew both my ACLs out.
Fucking hell. Oh, like knee things. It's like sometimes you see these lifting fails, and it's the worst. When you see like legs bending, it's like, oh my gosh. Or when people squat, and then it's the worst when that happens. It's awful.
I watched gym fails, and there was a power lifter recently. Like he went down on his knees. It was like 800 pounds on his back. Went down, broke both of his knees, tore both of his quads. I was like, I'm gonna be sick.
I saw that. That must, like, you heard him. I saw that, and heard him. You actually heard. Oh my god, that's just like it is so horrible. But you do have to be careful with these things. So, what if you don't mind me asking? What were your personal bests on squat, bench, and deadlift?
Okay,
back in the day.
Back when I was 19, and I had a little supplement help, you know. So squat was 425, deadlift was 550, and
425.
Yep. And then deadlift 550, and then my bench sucked. My bench was like 265. It wasn't anything impressive.
So 550. So what, you deadlifted like almost 300 kilos?
Yes.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
crazy.
So now when I deadlift, I'm like 135 pounds. I hear the little squeaky meme sound. I'm like,
that's insane. So what juicy vitamins were you using to get to that? And did you know what you were getting yourself into, or was it just kind of like, oh, here, take that, rather than like you sat down with somebody, pros and cons, this is what's going to happen to your body, or it was like, hey, here you go, take this pill, and it's going to make you stronger?
No. So when I was in college, I grew up on a horse ranch in the middle of a ranching community in Arizona on the southern border of Mexico. And so my dad was like, your coach is your father away from home. You can trust him. And I was like, okay. I go to school, and I was placing like third and fourth. And I was happy with that. Obviously you want to win. And so my coach was like, I have this vitamin shot that I can start giving you that's really going to help you.
Did he actually say vitamin shot?
He said vitamin shot. And I was like, okay. So he started injecting me, and he was injecting me with D-ball. And a woman should never be on D-ball. D-ball is not a steroid a woman should ever take. I don't know how much. I mean, I just like drop my trousers and let him, give me a shot every day. So I don't know how much he was giving me, but it was 7 days a week. I saw him 7 days a week. He was giving it to me. And
that's crazy.
I was really lucky because my voice didn't deepen. I didn't my hair didn't fall out. I didn't, but I mean, I definitely looked pretty. I mean, I had a 28-inch waist and I had 30-inch thighs.
Wow.
Yeah. So it worked.
Yeah. Somebody asked if you sued.
No, I didn't. I did not sue because it was not until much later. And so I found out what he was giving me after I had injured myself and was off the team. Another teammate was like, yeah, you know, that was D-ball, right? And I was like, what the hell? And so I talked to him about it and confronted him. And he basically was like, well, you were winning. Like he did me a favor. So fast forward to 2013, and my left knee is, I drive an SUV. I couldn't get in and out of my truck. I would get stuck upstairs or downstairs. Went and had an MRI, and I had bone cancer. And my surgeon said, we usually don't see this kind of thing unless it's somebody who abused steroids when they were younger. It usually affects them 20 years later. And I was like, well, this is what happened. This is what happened. He goes, okay, yep, that makes sense. So that was insane. Yeah.
But how much did it make your lift progress though? So what were you?
Oh my God. Okay.
What were you deadlifting, or what were you deadlifting after? Or with your lifts? All lifts, not just deadlift.
Okay, so my squat, I was probably 320. It was 100-pound difference within.
Wow, that's a lot to that.
Within 6 weeks, and
6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah. So it, like I said, I'm like, it worked really well.
Yeah, but D-ball is hard. D-ball is isn't it made for bulls? Isn't it like an animal steroid? It's made for bull, actually male cows, right? It's a steroid for animals like that, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's insane. And so so there was.
You're definitely not a bull or a male bull for that matter.
Thank God, I think about that because what people don't know is if your voice drops from that, if you stop taking it, your voice doesn't come back to normal. No. I could have ended up.
Virilization is forever. I think maybe hair growth. Potentially, I don't even know if it does, but virilization, once it happens, it happens. Where with men, if they have negative side effects from steroid abuse, it goes away. Usually speaking, once they sort of cycle back and they rebalance their hormones. But for women, it's if you start growing a beard, you are going to have to shave forever.
Yeah.
And that's some serious, like the side effects for me. It's not worth risking taking anything harder, really. Like, I don't really think there's any point in it anyway, unless you are competing and you're going for a pro card and you've kind of you've tried every avenue. You have to see where you lay as a natural first, and then go further and then see if it's actually made for you. But I hear so many stories of women that just go into gyms and like they just get coaches and they give them that. And whenever females come to me and they talk to me in DMs about competing, I always say, make sure that you find a coach that you can see in person, because it is usually better as somebody that's in with the right federation. And if they start pushing drugs from the beginning, go somewhere else. A coach shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Not from the beginning, unless that's what you want to do. If you just want to start taking tons of gear, but I think you don't appreciate what you can do until you need to see what you're capable of first yourself, and not think that, oh, I'm going to take this pill or have this injection and it's going to magically do everything for me.
Yeah, no,
you have to do a lot of work yourself.
Yeah, you can't take gear and then sit on the couch and think that you're going to look like Arnold in a week. You know what I mean? Like gear, I mean, obviously it helps, but you still have to put the work in. You still have to eat right. You still have to get you got to rest and all that. I have a really good friend who owns, basically it's the bodybuilding powerlifting mecca of the Pacific Northwest here. And he was really good friends with Rich Piana. He was part of the mutant crew back in the day. And he says, I have kids come into my gym and they're like, you know, tell me what gear I should be on. And he's like, why do you want to be on gear? And
have you tried eating 7 meals a day and training hard?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And he's like, you know, first he goes, the only way I would ever tell someone, okay, I'll help you, is if they're like, I want to get my pro card. He goes, but you better have been lifting 6, 7, 8, 9 years and show me that you have what it takes to, like you said, to live the life, you know, to eat and train and rest and drink your gallon of water a day and do all the stuff you're supposed to do.
Yeah, a lot of people underestimate it. Anyway, shall we get back to the video?
Yeah.
I'm sure I think this will return back to this subject, because I have my suspicions around Joan Bell. I'll talk about that afterwards.
I do too.
All right. Is it working? Is it not? Oh, come on, internet. Oh, here we go.
We left Michelle and JJ's condo to come down to the beach.
She's so happy always.
And it was not near as far as this one. We had to stop many times along the way because I just did not have the energy to keep going.
Look at those ghosts though. Look at her biceps.
I know. Her arms are amazing. I
think that's genetics though. I think some of that is definitely genetics.
She got some good genetics.
For sure.
Can you imagine if she started younger?
Yeah, she'd look insane. Absolutely. Well, her daughter looks really good though, doesn't she?
Yeah, her daughter's amazing.
Yeah, very, very nice physique.
Didn't know if I was going to pass out on the way or not, and they'd have to drag me home or send me home by cab and then do whatever they had.
Okay, I think that's a good question for you. When you started your journey, you were just over 300 pounds, right? So
I was 110 pounds. Yeah.
310 pounds. So how did you overcome exercising when clearly it's hard? Clearly it's something that's, it's going to be more of a struggle, right? Like the bigger you are, it's going to be harder. Yeah. So how did you overcome that?
So, okay, for me, I remember I really wanted to get back in the gym, but you know, there's this thing with morbidly obese people where they have this mindset of, I need to lose some weight before I get to the gym. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So I joined a gym that had a pool and I swam because my joints hurt so bad. I have rheumatoid arthritis and I have osteoarthritis, but I think, you know, once you hit a certain age, everybody has osteoarthritis. So my joints were always inflamed and hurt. And then, and honestly, I mean, I started my journey back in 2002 and there were weight limits on machines. Like, you know, you've got treadmills now that go to like 450 pounds or something. It was like a 300 pound weight lift. Yeah, there was a weight limit on the treadmills where I went that was like 300 pounds. I was over the weight limit. So I just swam. And I think swimming's such a great place for anybody to start because it's so easy on your joints. And I would go in there and I would just go back and, I mean, like an hour and a half a day. I mean, at 310 pounds, like I probably floated a lot, but at least I was moving, you know.
Just like pedal your feet a little bit.
Just like float right to the top, you know. So I did that. And then once I got to about 250, I felt more confident then, and then started using the other cardio equipment. And then my gym had really cheap rates for trainers. So I hired a trainer 3 days a week and started weightlifting again. So I did that. And then I got down to about 165 pounds. And that's when I had my first skin removal surgery.
Yeah. Tifa's asking if your knee injury made you gain weight.
Okay, so my knee injury in college, or like when I had my total knee replacement in college. Oh my God. Yeah. When I got out of college, I mean, that's when my weight started ballooning. And then, you know, a few years later I got married and I had 3 kids in 3 years. And so I was, it definitely started that trend. And especially because I was so used to eating so much food in college when I was competing that you get out and then you stop training like that, but you keep eating like that, you know? So then that was a problem too. But then when I had my total knee replacement, it didn't make me gain weight. No. And I was very conscientious because I knew I needed to be at a decent weight because I didn't want to put any more undue strain on that knee.
Yeah. Did you, were you tempted to go back into training, or did that injury just kind of scare you away for it for a while? Because I would imagine having something like that happen potentially can put you off from training.
Again. The one in college or my knee replacement?
The college one where you blew both of your ACLs.
Yeah, because I mean, I really loved powerlifting. I mean, they call it powerlifting for a reason because you do feel like so powerful. I just loved it. It made me really sad. Like it was like mourning a death, not being able to compete and being able to go in and do that. And then I kind of felt less than, you know, like I wasn't special anymore. And I know that sounds kind of stupid, but I was young and I kind of defined myself around being an athlete and doing well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was traumatizing for sure. And then I wanted to get back into the gym, but then it was like I had to finish school and then I got married and had kids. And then it was like, it was hard for me to make time. I mean, I think anybody can make time, but
if you want something bad enough, most people can make the time. I mean, obviously there is exceptions, but I think for most people, it's just a case of like, what sacrifices are you willing to make? Because when I've prepped before, I was studying for a degree, I was working full time, I was commuting by car into central London, which is, if anybody knows the English motorways, they're not exactly fun. So I was commuting 3 to 4 hours a day as well as working, and I still found time to train. I still found time to do my cardio, and I still found time to meal prep. But I just had no spare time. Like I literally had maybe half an hour or an hour every day before going to bed, if even that. So am I recommending that? Absolutely not. I'm just saying that there's a lot of people are busy, but you do find if you want something bad enough, you can find the time, unless you're just working really insane hours and maybe you have a kid and no childcare or something like that. Then it's going to be harder. But then still, you can maybe find a way to do things at home. It's not the same though. It's not the same, but you can find ways around it. Mostly.
Yeah, I've had people tell me that they think that I'm extreme because of how much I train and that I have a coach that I pay 6 days a week. And I'm like, you know what? I think it's extreme to be 200 pounds overweight. So pick your extreme.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, you have to do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's go back to good old Joan.
Yes.
I'll say that. Is it working? I think so.
It's trying.
It's trying. Hold on.
Lock it up somewhere.
There we go.
It was really hard to even get down to the first part of the beach. Never mind all the way down.
She's got like leg separation. It's ridiculous.
It's 6 miles. I can go faster than some of the young ones, which makes me feel good. I could differently now.
Ooh.
I think, sorry to pause again, but I think from what I've seen on her Instagram, she's really meticulous with her diet, probably even more so than what I am. She seems to be very on point every single day, hitting those macros, being super clean.
Yeah.
I mean, especially clean is done, but like she eats really, really healthy and whole foods, which I do too, but I'm not as tight with my nutrition as she is, for the simple reason that, I don't know, I just like eating cheese sandwiches, you know?
You know, though, the thing about whole foods too is like it's harder to get your if you're eating really good really good whole food meals, they're so filling that, I mean, like I'm supposed to be at 2,200 calories right now, and man, there are days where I'm just like, oh my God, it's like I got to go to bed and I got 300 more calories I'm supposed to eat, and I'm like, oh man, you know, because it is so much filling than garbage like from McDonald's or something.
Yeah, especially like I find out with, I'm going to say most of my clients, when I stick them on a whole foods eating plan, I say that I won't be surprised if the first week or two you can't finish all the food, that is too much. But after a while you get used to it. Once you just eat like that, you do get used to eating so much, and it helps with training and all of the other things. But to get used to it, it is a lot. Because it's not even the volume is that much. Well, is it? I suppose it is. I think it's just the density and the way it just impacts the way it's being absorbed in the body is different.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I feel like garbage food, you know, like fast food, I feel like it just kind of just slides right through you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, let's go back to see what she's cooking here. Pancakes, I think. Or is it an omelette? I don't know. Something eggy, probably.
It looks like eggs. Yeah, she's putting something in.
Really? There we go.
Healthier than I used to. Oh, I definitely have more energy in my daily life. I still get tired because...
What?
Look at that. How much is that? I want to know how much the plates are.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. Hold on, sorry.
But
oh, man, hold on. Let's rewind. Rewind. Okay. I think these are probably 10 plates. I reckon the end one is a 20. So that's 20, 30, 40, 50 kilos. So that's 50 aside plus the bar. I reckon 100. So that's probably 220 pounds, I think. Unless they're 5 kilo plates. But I think they're 10s. I think so. They look like 10. So potentially 220 pounds. That is crazy, isn't it?
Yes, it's insane.
Fair play to her. Opa. Oh, there's a bit of a delay
into it, but a half hour of downtime.
Just casually doing chin-ups, you know, as you do at 72 years old. Yeah,
that's impressive.
70 years old.
Pull-ups are hard, man.
They're weighted. Look, she's got a plate.
Yeah, she's got a weight around her waist. I know. I'm like, damn.
That's so impressive.
Okay. Can we just appreciate her booty gains too? Like the booty came back hardcore on her. Like she looks freaking amazing.
Yeah, her back looks really good as well. Just nice. She's quite lean. She's actually quite lean. She's not high in body fat at all.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm jealous. She looks great.
Yeah, she looks fantastic.
Perk me back up again, and I can keep going. The worst exercise I think I did when we first started was doing the planks, like side planks, weighted planks. I would collapse.
I feel her on that. I never plank. I hate it. I put it on people's plans, but I don't really do it myself. Sometimes I do, but I'm not a fan of them. I absolutely despise planks.
I remember when I started with my trainer now and do it. Oh my God. And at the time, Bob, he could hold a plank for 5 minutes and make it look like it was so easy. And I'm over there 20 seconds later. I'm like, is it a minute yet? You know, and then when people, hold it out to the side, I'm like, I bow down to you because it's hard.
It is hard. It's very good though. It is very good for building core strength, and it is very important when you do weight training. But yeah, I'm not a fan of them, but they are good.
Yeah.
Is it gonna work?
Yep, she's coming.
Oh.
Every time she told me to, okay, now you can have a rest, I would just collapse on the mat. Technology was very new to me. It was like another language. I felt like I was on another planet. Never mind.
Big thing is having support. I had to have that support, and the YHH group was truly my support. They helped me along when I felt bad about myself.
So I was just going to talk about support groups, and I do agree with that. It is nice to have people around you, but at the same time, you should want to do something for you, and not because people are cheering you on. Or it's like, it's one of those things, like sometimes you do hear from people that are in relationships where the partner is not supportive, and you kind of like, I was there myself. I was together with somebody for a very long time, and we just ended up floating apart. So I got into weight training, I got into bodybuilding. I didn't want to party every weekend, I didn't want to eat out every weekend. And I would show him pictures of the girls that I'd aspire to, and he's like, oh, I think that's too masculine, I think that's gross. And I'm like, well, we're gonna have a problem then, aren't we? Because I want to look like that. If you think that's ugly, that's gonna be a problem for us. And then we did try and work on it, but obviously in the end it didn't work out, because I won't be where I am, and that's obviously for the best. It is what it is. These things happen. People come and go in your life, and that's perfectly fine. And I'm not saying dump your partner at all, but at the same time, I do believe you need to do what's right for you and what's going to make you happy. And if you are on your path for your own happiness with your goals, you will end up surrounding yourself with people that have the same focus, that support you. So whilst it might be lonely at times, in time, the like-minded people will find you. And I'm seeing that myself.
That gave me goosebumps, because that is really true. I had really closed my circle of friends off a couple of years before I met my trainer, Marcia. And I didn't want to, my husband's a retired fighter pilot. And there's kind of a running joke that's kind of true, though, that a lot of the wives are alcoholics. There's a lot of booze that goes on with the wives, because the husbands are gone and the wives all get together. And I was in Korea, I got a job the second year we were there, because the first year we were there, we would take our children down to the park at 10 o'clock. We had like the coffee tumblers full of wine at 10 o'clock in the morning.
That's crazy.
I don't want to live like that. I don't want to do that. I drink like maybe twice a year now. Like I just don't do it, because I'd rather eat my calories, and it just doesn't do anything for me. And, so my friends at the time, they didn't understand why I wanted to train so hard, why I wanted to make all these changes. And now my friends are my gym friends who live a similar lifestyle to me, and I love that, because they are so supportive. And, I can go to them and be like, like my shoulder injury right now, where I'm just like, man, I'm so bummed out about this. And, I'm doing stuff with like these 3-pound weights, and Marcia's like, do you want me to spray paint them pink for you? And I'm like, but yeah, it makes a difference to have people that support you.
But even if you don't, you still need to do things that's right for you. So like, I've been there where even people within my family have doubted me. People are going to doubt you, and that's fine. People are allowed to doubt you. You just have to focus on yourself, your goals. And then look, I know it's a horrible thing to say, but I firmly believe in cutting people out if you don't need them. If they're only going to hold you back, I've done it a lot in my life. I don't have an awful lot of friendships that I've maintained over the years of moving around, for the simple reason that if I'm the only person that's always getting in touch with somebody, then guess what? It's a one-sided relationship. So bye. I know that's really horrible, but if it's like, look, I'm not a needy friend at all. Like, there's some people that I'll talk to once or twice a year, and it's just like, it's like, oh my god, I was thinking about you. How are you doing? It's like, yeah, great, blah blah. That's fine. Like, I know people are busy, but if it's only you that's always making the effort in everything, even organizing meetups and all that kind of stuff, it's like, no, you're clearly not that bothered about me. So why am I investing my time in you if this is not a mutual beneficial relationship,
100%. Yeah, I feel the same way. I completely agree with that. And then what you were saying about like your partner supporting you. So when Bob was active duty, obviously he had to pass a PT test every year, but he was always that guy who would like prepare for it 6 weeks before his PT test, do his PT test, lay down and die, and be like, okay, I'm not training till next year. And I was like, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. So when I started training, I didn't say, hey, get your fat ass into the gym with me. You know what I mean? I didn't do that, but he was like, maybe I can come train with you. And now, like, he's deployed right now, and he's in the gym 7 days a week. Every day he sends me a screenshot of his Fitbit, how much time he did, how many calories. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you burned more calories than I did today. Okay, fine. So we're competitive that way. It's good.
That is good. That is good. And like, obviously, the best thing is to try and get your partner involved, but you shouldn't force it either. Like, with Evo, it's like Evo goes through waves. Sometimes he trains, sometimes he doesn't. As long as he doesn't let himself go too much either way, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with him not training, but I think I'm well with him all right. As somebody, like, I got with him looking a certain way, being active in a certain way. So it's kind of like, I've said this to him. I'm like, look, if you either get too skinny or you put on too much weight, we're going to have a conversation and we're going to change that. Like, you don't want me to put on 50 or 100 pounds. So the other way around is not going to happen. And I think you should be honest with your partner in a nice way, obviously. Like, don't be horrible. If you don't drop this weight now, I'm going to leave you. People are like, oh, you know, maybe come for a walk with me. It's like, oh my God, look at this healthy salad I made. Like, so there's ways of going around it. But at the same time, you as a partner, you have the right to say, like, no, this is not how we met. This is not how things were.
Yeah,
we both
for sure.
keep on working on it. And like, I think you kind of need that in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I think of how much more fun Bob and I have together because we have gotten in shape together. You know, we're going to Jamaica next month. He gets home at the end of this month, and we're going to go to Jamaica. And we have all these activities. Like, it's an active. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like to lay on the beach and, you know, sip my Diet Coke. But, you know, we have all these activities planned because it's really me. It's like I'm finally able to do this stuff and go have fun and paddleboard and hike and zip line and do all this stuff. I mean, that it's just more fun, you know? It's the quality of life is definitely better.
Lego is saying that she wants a bodybuilding partner, so he understands my craziness. I don't know, like, I think being in a relationship with somebody that's prep can work. But in my experience, dating like other bodybuilders,
I think it needs to be one
they are a bit egotistical.
Yeah,
you're better off having somebody that's just supportive. Because if both of you are prepping, it can work. Though I know of people that are both competitors and it works. But I've personally not had. I just find a lot of guys that are like into the gym like that. Find yourself a power lifter. I think you'll be or a strongman. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I think bodybuilders, not saying all of them, but in my experience, they're a little bit vain and they get a lot of female attention and they usually like that, which obviously most men do, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. Two people prepping, I don't know about that.
Oh my God, you
tensions can rise quite high.
You would kill each other. Can you imagine like fighting over the last ounce of chicken or something?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, definitely. Oh my God. Yeah. Right. We would strangle each other in prep. Yeah, you would. You absolutely would.
Totally. It's so funny.
Oh,
I love the chat. The chat's great.
We weren't sure if we were doing it, but when you saw the pictures, you could see.
I mean, like, even at 180 pounds, she was overweight, but she wasn't extremely overweight. But that's a big difference already.
I mean, I feel like, her body fat dropped and then her gains are crazy. I mean, that's impressive. Especially
because in this picture here on the right-hand side, she's not actually flexing her lats. She's actually contracting her lats. So if she was to flex them out, it would look even better because you can see the capping on the shoulders. You can see the definition she has through her biceps. She's just contracting the lats, which is a shame.
Yes.
But I mean, it's not a shame, but like posing properly is difficult. I can assure you, it's not as easy as it seems.
I have friends who are bodybuilders, and that you see them practicing their posing, and the sweat's pouring off of them. Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard, very much so.
That we had done what we were supposed to do.
Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you got a little bit of encouragement from what I've told you. It's not an easy journey, but it's well worth it.
Aww, I want to be her friend.
There's still half an hour. There's still 30 minutes to it, though. Is it just dead? Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, I think it's just dead there. All right.
Lego just said posing hurts.
It does hurt. It really, really does hurt. but that's what makes it look good. And yeah, so about Joan, her before,
what do we think?
these before and afters. I'm not going to try and pull up Instagram because my computer will just crash. I would suggest go to her Instagram. It's Train with Joan.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just remove this.
It's a great. She has a great Instagram.
It is, but she's pretty damn lean, and she's made some pretty good gains in a very short period of time. And for a woman, as you get older, to build muscle it's a lot harder. It's hard anyway, but it's even harder because you have basically your hormones are out of whack. I don't think she's natty at all.
I don't think she's natty either. And here's the thing too, like when you hit, I would say 40, your body is like, okay, you're getting older. You don't need to hold on to this muscle. So you're fighting your body, trying to hold on to the muscle you have and then gain when you're aging. And it's like, it's a battle that you're fighting. So I don't think she's natty either. I think she's on two different things. Don't think she has maybe three different things was what I
reckon she probably takes growth.
Yeah,
and she may take something like maybe like some Anavar or maybe some Winstrol. Maybe something like some sort of estrogen blocker. I think something like that. Maybe
I think she's probably taken a little Clen too to help kind of boost some fat loss. Yeah, totally.
But that's not taking anything away from her. It's like you can tell that she trains all the time. She's very strict with her diet. She's been very consistent, but it's just impossible. The reality is, even with the best genetics, I think at the age of 70 to basically build muscle that I would have had to train for 3 years.
Yes.
Nah, it's impossible. I think it's like near enough. Not taking it away from her, like do what you need to do. And I'm sure she has great genetics anyway, because I don't even know how much is possible at that. I don't know. I don't even know what the possibilities are at that stage in life. But yeah, I don't think it's I think she needs to do some vitamins.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And I don't think she's like on a ton of it. I mean, and like on with human growth hormone, I mean, it's this teeny tiny amount that you have. It's not like, you know what I mean? I don't think she abuses it. I think she takes, like enough to kind of, get her over that hump.
Yeah. I think somebody was saying that Greg Doucette apparently did a video on it, but I haven't seen his. But I'm guessing.
I think he said that he guessed human growth hormone, and he thought like 10 milligrams of test a week.
Really?
That's what he said.
To be fair, I don't think it's actually that unusual for women that have been through menopause to be prescribed testosterone. Yeah, I don't think it's just it's actually a TRT. It's like a fairly normal thing, I think, for certain women.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I do know that. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm an old lady, and I have friends who have gone through menopause, and some of them do have. Yeah, they'll have their hormones checked, and they're thinking that they, I went through menopause and I need an estrogen supplement, and the doctor's like, actually, you need testosterone, and it's like, what? And it's never a lot, like Greg said, like it was like 10 milligrams a week. That's nothing, Kate
Wynn says this is like Natty's natural light beer. Maybe that too. Oh my god! Oh, we do love you. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, what was I going to say? So, have you ever tried growth hormone? Because I've heard really good things about it, but at the same time, it's just really pricey. So I don't know. It's also I wouldn't consider it. But isn't it something that all the Hollywood stars use to remain youthful?
Well, okay, so I'm going to be honest. I take it. And it's a very minimal amount. It's about $350 a month. So it's expensive, but I will tell you that like your skin looks better. Like it does to kind of feel like the fountain of youth. But the big thing for me, the reason why I decided to start taking it was because the recovery is better when you take it. And for me, I really wanted, and I didn't start taking it until a couple of months ago. And it was recommended to me by someone that I know who's an IFBB pro. And she was like, you know what, you can take just like this small amount of it. And I have noticed a difference with my recovery, that it has helped a lot. So
how do you find, so say before you would, what is it, just in terms of muscle pain and stuff like that? You've gone from having like DOMS for like 4 days to just a day, or?
Yeah, it's like that, but then like I feel like my rest is better. I almost
It's
feel
great
even
for
more.
sleep, apparently. You have the best sleep on it, so I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, and I struggle with sleep. I struggle with sleep a lot. So it does help with that. And it is kind of the fountain of youth. Like you just feel I wake up, like it used to be I would wake up, I'd be kind of dragging ass when I first get up in the morning. I mean, now when my alarm goes off, I'm up right away. So
Yeah.
I have noticed a difference.
Mum Anna is asking, is it good for a 58-year-old with arthritis and osteoporosis? From what I think, from what I understand, I don't know an awful lot about it. So I understand that for a lot of like joint problems and stuff like that, it can work. However, if you happen to have something like a cancerous growth in your body, it will accelerate that. So if you have something in there that's not malevolent, but what is it when you have like bad cancer cells? Like it's got a name, isn't it? Malignant, that's it. Mm-hmm. So if you've got something in your body that's malignant, it will accelerate that just as much as it will accelerate the cell growth in your skin, your hair growth, the repair of muscles and bones. So it's like it can be good as long as you don't have anything in your body that is malignant, because then it could just make it even worse. From what I understand, but you know more about it, so you answer.
So Laura Crater was asking, is it prescribed? Yeah, you can get it from an endocrinologist, or there are I feel like in every city there are hormone centers. You'll see them a lot of times. They advertise them more for men, like come get your testosterone levels fixed and we'll give you test every week or whatever. You can get it from them, and there's different ways to take it. I do an injection. It's every day, but I mean it is the teeny tiniest amount. So yeah, you can get it from your doctor.
Yeah. So is that something I guess you have to potentially ask for? No, or I don't know. I don't know how it works in the US.
Yeah, you just have to ask for it. I know, like I can self-refer. A lot of times this stuff isn't covered though by your insurance, so you're paying out of pocket for it. Like if I needed hormone replacement, that would be covered. But I feel like human growth hormone, they're like, yeah, that's vanity, but
yeah, maybe you could find, maybe if you can find some studies that support the use of human growth hormone for, what did you say, osteoporosis and arthritis. If you can find something that there are studies out there that have shown that supplementing it actually can reverse it, or at least stop it from regressing even further, then I don't know, maybe you can that way have like a discussion with your doctor. But
human growth hormone is you produce it naturally, and then as you age, you produce less of it. So that's why people go back on it, to help them. It does help slow down a lot of the signs of aging, and like I said, with your recovery and your sleep. So I think it's a good thing. Mm-hmm.
People are saying about the fasting that I know if fasting is to do with like sarcophagy or whatever it's called, which like it does a little bit, but it's not the same as using growth hormones. I don't think you can like reverse potentially damage that has been done. But I think actually human growth hormone can do that. But then I don't know a lot about autophagy or sarcophagy or whatever it's called. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But talking of supplements and stuff like that, you don't mind talking about it, do you?
No, I don't at all. I think everybody, if it's something you want to do it.
So do you mind sharing what you're doing at the moment?
So I take Anavar. I take a liquid form of it. It tastes like Fruity Pebbles. I should have brought it down. It does. It tastes like, and every once in a while, I do it. It kind of gets me. So it's a dropper full. About an hour before I train, I take it, and I have noticed gains. Like I'll go through these spurts. It seems like where I have all of a sudden, like, from one workout to the next, everything's a PR. Which PR for since I started training again. So I definitely do notice a difference, and I've gained some size and some more definition. So like I said, like I have no desire to ever get on stage and compete. Like I loved powerlifting because it was like, okay, can you do the lift? Great. Okay, you got the lift. But bodybuilding is subjective. You can train your ass off and look killer and get on stage for 30 seconds and they don't even look at you because a
lot of it is down to how well. A lot of it is also down to how much wear and tear you have on your knee pads. or how deep your pockets are, unfortunately. But
yeah. And so I'm just like, no, but I am vain, and I want to look a certain way, and I still get frustrated because, like, you know, my weight is good, my body fat's coming down, and like my coach will be like, okay, send me pictures, and I'm like, no. Because, you know, it still is, I'm still a work in progress, but the Anavar definitely is helping. And then I do also take clenbuterol once a day, which is a fat burner, and that just kind of helps kind of speed things up. And
Clen just raises your heart rate. That's so, because I've taken it in prep before, and all it does, it just raises your heart rate. So if normally your resting heart rate is like 55, 60, on Clen, it will be like 70, 75. So that's why it's good for fat burning, because the quicker your heart beats, the more fat you burn. But I think there's a common misconception with fat burners. There's like, I've seen people do this. They'll pop like 6 pills of Clen, and then they're like eating pizzas. Like, that's not how it works.
No.
You still need to diet and train and do everything right. And like, fat burners are not a magic pill to just burn fat.
Right.
Except for what's this one thing? That you took it, and like you're sweating, like Ali or something.
Called, it's okay. There's an initial for it. I want to say it's like
Ali, isn't it? ALI.
I thought it was like oil. I thought it was like DMT. Or
DMT. That's like I think that's
like dynamite. That's like dynamite.
Yeah, that's dangerous. That's really, people die from that. People legit die from that. I
mean, you blow up on the inside. It's insane what that does to you. Like, there is no way in hell.
Yeah, it's so I know people that have tried it and they have done it, and it's like when you take DMT, everything DMT has to be. It has to be DMT. DMP, I think it is. Maybe DMT is a drug. Oh shit!
Yes.
DMT is not like Joe Rogan. DNP, I think it is called. So DMT, DMT is what Joe Rogan is always talking about, smoking. DNP, that's basically like, it's an explosive. It actually is an explosive. And basically you have to, if you take that, you have to have everything in order. Like, you can't miss meals, you can't skip carbs. And apparently you will not sleep. You will sweat your tits off, but you can lose like 10 pounds in a week. So it's like, I don't know. For me, it's not worth the risk.
It's not worth the risk either. I feel like my heart would probably explode. But I mean, I know a very famous bodybuilder here, and she does it year round. Like, that is not something.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, but you should take any gear year round, though. This is like a lot of people do. People, even when they're like off cycle, they're still using small amounts. It's like, you should just come off completely.
So, okay, so Psyched for Life, she was saying Anavar is one of the safer. It is, and Anavar is used for people like, I laugh because I'm an old lady, because, you know, you'll see like older people, like really like in rest homes, who are starting to have like some muscle wasting. In studies, they've given them like a really small dose of Anavar every single day, and in a month they'll put 3 pounds of muscle back on. Like, they didn't do anything different, and they put 3 pounds. And people, I know they used it with AIDS patients back in the day when we couldn't stop the progression of AIDS, and it would help with muscle wasting. It would stop the progression of it. So it is a safer. It's not as potent as like D-ball.
Yeah. So basically, I think I'm not extremely versed on it. You know, I've taken it only in prep for a show, and then under the guidance of a coach that I've had for many years, and he doesn't believe in pushing any of that. So from my understand, for women, it's basically Anavar or Winstrol. Winstrol is a little bit stronger, but the chances of getting virilization or side effects when you're taking just a small amount every day, it's pretty minimal. Like, it can happen. Like, everything has side effects, but it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, I agree. So someone asked, I think it was Fat Chick in a Barn, which that screen name's hilarious. How did you decide that you needed to take HGH? So I had known about it. It wasn't my coach. I just was like talking to people, because I live in Las Vegas. There's a lot of pro bodybuilders here. And so I talked to several people, and then I decided that I was going to try it and see what it did. So,
I know, for like a lot of people do swear by it. If you can, like, you know, a lot of it is black market, and like if you can't afford it, people are just like, do it. But from what I understand, it's quite difficult to get from the doctor, and to just invest in it on your own, it's super pricey. But I don't know, it's like whatever, like people go get pissed up and do loads of coke on the weekends, don't they? So whatever.
Oh my God.
You know, what's a lot of money for one person, it's not a lot of money for another. And people, like, it's like, if I think about the amount of money some people spend on fast food when they eat out like 2 to 3 times a day, every single day a week, they are spending like between $50 and $100 a day easily on just takeout. That's insane.
That's one thing that I've said when people have said, oh my God, you spend so much, you know, on your training and your nutrition. And I'm like, okay, I'm not eating out. There was one time when we were living in Oklahoma and I was very sick and my husband was working. He had a very demanding job. Our kids were young. We were spending $1,500 a month eating out.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Yeah. I remember going over our budget one month and I was like, we can't do this. Like I'm not spending this kind of money, you know? So you choose your lifestyle, you know, what do you want to spend your money on? What are your priorities? And I don't have any heartburn at all about paying my trainer every day or, you know, I have 2 coaches, paying my other coach. I just recorded a video last night that's going to go up on Saturday. And I show a picture of this. We had a safe where all my medication was. I was taking
That's crazy.
Over 20 different prescriptions. And it was a total of like 73 pills a day. 73. Like how old Joan is, 73. And
That's insane.
It was crazy. I take 3 prescriptions now. I mean, I have rheumatoid arthritis, so I'm probably going to be on something for the rest of my life for that. But I mean, it was insane. And when I finally went, I told my doctor, I was like, I'm on too much medication. Like I'm loopy. Like I just was, it made me depressed because that's what it does. And I went to him and I said, you know what? Like I'm on so much medication. Like I cannot drive. It's not safe for me to drive. I have small children. Like I need to be able to drive. And he said to me, if you don't want to follow my protocol, you can get out of my practice. And I was like, okay, bye. I drove across town with my husband and went to my primary care doctor, who was a friend of mine. I'm like, you got to help me get off this stuff. So we did.
Yeah. I think it's important. Like, you know, they say like you shouldn't necessarily like question authority, considering like a doctor is an authoritative person. But at the same time, if you're not happy with what they're doing, you definitely can go if you can go somewhere else. Always try and get a second opinion if that's possible. Like you don't have to just accept something because somebody with a perceived form of authority is telling you something to do. Because the thing is as well, a lot of doctors prescribe medicine. That's like, I think it's changing. I think it's more shifting into like more holistic approaches with diet and lifestyle and all of that. But most doctors get like nutrition is such a small part of their education, which is shocking really, because a lot of things can actually be resolved through diet and exercise and lifestyle. So,
I mean, here's the thing too, is that people don't want to do that. Diet and exercise is hard. Popping a pill and going through the McDonald's drive-thru is easier, you know?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
And so that's the other thing too. Like, one thing that I used to absolutely love and I can never take it again is Xanax. I don't know if you guys have ever taken Xanax. I mean, people joke about it all the time, but you pop a Xanax, the house could be burning down and you don't give a crap. Like, it's like, that's fine, whatever. It's all good. You know, but that's a horrible kind of state of mind to be in too, where you just don't give a shit about anything. Like that's terrible. And I had anxiety and that's why I was prescribed that. But you know, if you change your diet and you start exercising and you're taught different tools on how to deal with your depression and anxiety, you don't need the medication. Yeah, you still might feel anxious, but you learn coping mechanisms to bring it back down and refocus. But people don't want to do that. Popping the Xanax is easier.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. I think a lot of people do expect shortcuts. People aren't willing to work for things, or they expect to have quick results. And unfortunately, if you have abused your body for a long time by overeating and just not exercising and just, you know, getting up to a very high weight, or even like being extremely malnourished, like you don't just like not swing back, but you don't just, you can't be like anorexic for 10 years and then just be fine 2 days later. The same thing is like, if you've been obese for like 10 years, it's going to take a lot, like you didn't get like this overnight. So you can't expect to get back to something that is like healthy overnight either. So.
Okay, and Shay is saying some people need medication for mental health. I 100% agree. Like if you take medication and it helps you with your depression and anxiety, and it's adding quality of life, and you're, for me, I was way over medicated. Like I was just chilled way out, like way too much, very drowsy. Like I was basically like kind of worthless. Like, yeah, if I have no problem if somebody needs medication for depression and that helps them to live their life, I'll do it. Like I'm totally for that.
Still also be, in my opinion, it should still also be a two-pronged approach, not just a case of, oh, here's some pills. Also be like, oh, well, maybe try and go out and exercise, or try and spend more time with family, or try and go for a walk, or try and incorporate healthy foods. Like look at it not just only from the perspective of like, okay, you obviously, of course people have clinical depressions, and people have like, I don't know, like schizophrenia and stuff like that, which is maybe like, I don't know if you can fix them with diet and like a lifestyle, I don't know. But I get like there is varieties of mental problems, but I think a lot of doctors, especially in America, are very quick to go like, oh, I feel a bit bad. Okay, well, here's some Valium. Like, oh, I can't sleep. Okay, well, here's some. Okay. Have you tried to maybe not drink coffee before you go to bed? Have you tried to do other things in your lifestyle to see if you can improve? Okay, you've tried all of these things. Okay, let's try medication. I don't know. Like, I understand. It's like obviously some things you do have to medicate, but
for sure,
it should be in conjunction with health, lifestyle therapy, etc., etc., etc. Not just, oh, here's a pill.
I agree. So like, okay, Susanna asked, how do you know I'm getting real Anavar? So here in Las Vegas, there's a lot of pro bodybuilders, and I've been lucky to be able to meet several of them. And I'm like, where are you guys getting your stuff? Because clearly you were just at the Olympia, so you got the real stuff. You know what I mean? So I was lucky that way.
I think you can buy testing kits. So I think
you can.
Dave, RX Muscle, what's his name? Dave Palumbo. He actually sells on his website testing kits. So because I know for Anavar, a lot of women actually get, what is it, test or T-ball? I think so. Like I think Anavar is one of those things where a lot of women don't like, not women, a lot of people don't actually get Anavar. They get like something else because it's cheaper to make. From what I understand, real Anavar is quite pricey, but you can buy testing kits online. Just to see if it's like, if it's real gear.
Yeah, you
can. Do you want to have a quick look at this video, the skin removal? It's 24 minutes. So what I might do is skip to the like before and after parts, and then we can talk about that, and then do some Q&As with the people here. Yeah. So let me just do my screen share again, because I said I would, and like we've just been going off on tangent, which is good though. I've had a really good time like having these conversations, because it's nice to have talk like this, you know, with people, because I don't often get to have conversations like this. Yeah, so for sure. Let's have a look at this person.
Everybody in the chat is really good too. Like they're helping each other answer each other's questions and stuff, and they're making a lot of good points.
Catch everything, especially when you're in the middle of explaining something. You don't want to just like cut it off to then answer something else. So, but we'll run a little Q&A at the end of this anyway, and then I can ask Tieia back again if this is a success. So.
Woo! Okay, I was lucky. I didn't look like, wow, that's crazy. So I lost 185 pounds.
That's a lot. That's like a whole human being. That literally is like my competition weight. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good sized person. And I was in my early 30s. So I was actually 30 when all the weight was gone, and I had my first skin removal surgery. And I didn't have the 360 body lift. It was called a paniculectomy. So most people think tummy tuck, but this was functional. So, but they took 12 pounds of skin off of my stomach.
That's insane.
It was so gross.
Do you like, I think I don't mean this to be horrible at all, but I can imagine for people that are overweight to look like this and to go through the pain of skin removal surgery, which from what I understand is quite a complicated surgery, Is that something that you have to pay for out of pocket as well, or is that covered by medical care?
Okay, so I have paid out of pocket for all of my plastic surgery, just because I wanted to pick my doctor. So if you have enough issues, so here's what I tell people. When you are at a point where you're ready for skin removal surgery, okay, so like for me, I would get really bad rashes underneath it was a process of, I talked about it in one of my videos about having the skin removal surgery and like putting deodorant on and Gold Bonds powder on. And like, you're doing all this stuff. And then you're shoving yourself into like basically Spanx, trying to rearrange everything so that it doesn't look like this poor lady in the video. So if you start having rashes and people get yeast infections in their folds of their skin, you get an infection, people have gone septic and died from skin infections. So I tell people, as soon as you start having any kind of rashes or anything, you go to your doctor. I don't care if you have to go 5 days a week and be like, document it. Then they can submit to the insurance. And a lot of times the insurance will pay for it. So, but I paid out of pocket to have mine done because I wanted to pick the surgeon.
See, I think they should give skin removal surgery. I think they should do it as an incentive, and they should do it so that it's something you can claim through your insurance, or like I think in the UK and stuff you can probably get it done on the NHS. But I don't think it's something that you should pay out of pocket for. Unless you want to go to somebody specific, like you were saying. But yeah, I think if people are going through, they're making a healthy choice, they're changing their life around, they're going to be less strain on the, what's the word, like the social network. That's not what I mean. But like, obviously, if people are no longer obese or super morbidly obese, they're probably no longer on benefits. They're probably able to work. They're probably contributing to society. They're going to be more productive people, more likely than not. I think you should reward them. It's like, you know what, fair play. You are now changing your life around. We want you to keep doing what you're doing. Therefore, we'll make it so that you feel comfortable in yourself by giving you skin removal surgery. Yeah, I don't know.
I agree. I mean, I think, and here's the thing too, like that poor lady, she looks like she's melting. Like it is so difficult. Like you get to a point, okay, can you imagine even if you have Spanx on and she's trying to jog on the treadmill? Do you know how much that hurts to have all that skin? Even if
is it painful?
Yes, it hurts. So, I mean, you've never had, like, I always say to women, imagine like, after you're done breastfeeding and your boobs are saggy and then running without a bra, that's like your whole body just bouncing all over. It hurts. Yeah. So it's functional. And I see people get to a certain point with their weight loss and they have all this skin, they get discouraged and it'll slow down. And I've seen people gain their weight back because it was just too much.
And this is what I generally believe, that this puts off a lot of people from losing serious amounts of weight. Is it something you can prevent if you lose weight slowly? Or is it just going to happen?
No, when you lose those massive amounts of weight, like people are like, oh, I'm going to do skin tightening. I'm going to do that. No, your skin, the elasticity, the collagen, it's blown. It's just gone. It's like taking the rubber bands that are around newspapers, like that material, and you stretch it or you put it out in the sun and it dries out. That's what your skin does. And you just can't get it back. You have to cut it off. I mean, when you lose, over 100 pounds, you're going to have skin problems and you're going to need, like, I didn't have to have my arms or my legs done, thank God, but I've had 2 tummy tucks and I've had 4 breast procedures. So
yeah, it's pretty insane. Let's see what they're going to do to them. I don't even know if it's a woman. Let's say them.
I think it is. I think it is a woman.
Yeah, it's quite feminine shape.
Mm-hmm. Gosh.
So guys, there might be some surgery shots in here. I don't know when they're going to happen. I haven't actually seen this video, so just maybe come back.
That's a lot of work. Yeah. Yeah. That's exciting though. And then use.
Yeah, that is a lady. That's so insane, isn't it, to watch?
My mind is blown right now. I don't think I've ever seen anybody this bad.
All the experts will get together and say, here's what we think you should do, or here's how we think you should be treating them.
I wonder how much she's going to lose in the surgery, how much skin will be taken off, the amount of weight. I mean,
It's
a
just-
360 body lift and her leg. Is he doing everything at the same time? He's going to do the lift, her legs, and her arms.
Yeah, it looks like. Let me just get past the surgery bit here.
I hope that she is loaded up with painkillers because I cannot imagine what that's going to feel like when she wakes up.
That is literally like she's being skinned, this woman.
Yeah,
Literally her whole. Let me go towards the end here. So we don't see any surgery pictures. Oh, there's still going to be some.
All this has got to go.
Oh, he's doing lipo too. I bet you there's 30 pounds he's taking off.
Lipo is so aggressive. Like I never realized that. Like it seems so glamorous, but when you see them doing it, it's just like it's like they're harpooning you. It's well aggressive.
So okay, I've had lipo done one time, and it was in 2004. And I feel like as my weight was coming off, all of a sudden I looked like I had this tiny waist, and then I had these saddlebags, and I was like, "What the hell is this? I've never had this." So I had liposuction done, and obviously the procedure's gotten better now. But I would lay in bed, and Bob would just like shift, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, stop moving!" It was so painful. I'll never do liposuction again. There is no way. It hurt so bad, and I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, I know that the procedure's gotten better now, where people, they say, "Oh, it's not that bad anymore." But man, you see the doctors in there with their.
Because that's what they're doing in essence, right? They're just breaking down the fat and sucking it up.
Yeah. And I bruised. I mean, my whole flank from like my waist down my flank and like part of the top of my butt. It was like black and purple. It was horrible. Yeah.
Let me just say bye to Mom Anna there. She's going. Right. So let me see what else is here. Let's see if I can get the.
Yeah, I want to see her after.
Yeah, me too.
So much skin. My God, I would love to.
Holy moly. This is insane, isn't it? Like, no joke. That's literally like my whole foreleg. Foreleg is not even a word. I'm thinking about my quads. It's like the whole bit that's considered my quads on the front. That's so much.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Final weight estimated.
Okay. I think it's got to be in the 30s. It has to. I mean, that's my guess. I'm probably wrong, but let's see what.
Can I do it in kilos? I reckon it's maybe. Yeah. I reckon around 12 kilos. Guys, put your.
Okay. Yeah. What do you guys think it is? How much weight do you think she lost getting skinned alive? Man. I reckon like. Maybe it's even 20 kilos. No, it's not 20 kilos. I don't know. Is it though? Chicken breast? Carmen said
I don't know. Maybe it is. I think maybe it's like 20 kilos. So that's like what, 40, 50 pounds?
Yeah, I said 30. Okay. I'm probably low. Can you imagine though, waking up? That's instant gratification. Get on the scale and you're 50 pounds lighter.
Yeah, to be fair, she probably is holding 50 pounds of water retention, I'd imagine. Mm-hmm. Like that's gotta be a nightmare. 30 pounds, 26, 40 pounds, 37, 50 pounds, 2 kilo, 2 pound in a kilo. Yeah. I thought you said like 2 pounds. I was like, no way, 100 pounds, 32, 50. All right, let's have a look, shall we? The big reveal.
Yeah, let's see what he says.
That is a lot of skin.
God.
Like,
let's see.
Okay. This is gonna sound gross, but you can actually make a suit out of that. There was so much skin there, you could actually make like a skin suit out of it. Oh,
you know that a lot, sometimes if the skin is viable enough, it can be donated to burn victims.
Oh, that's really good. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they do that.
Yeah.
So that's before. Wow.
So remember, she had all those wrinkles.
Damn.
All those wrinkles gone on her tummy. She's nice and svelte. She's concave now.
Legs.
Out. Muscles are nice and tight. All those shrinkles on the leg, all those wrinkles, all gone. Now nice and flat. You can bounce quarters off her legs now.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's insane, isn't it?
Oh, I just look at the incisions. It just makes me.
Oh my God.
Holy moly.
This is insane. All right.
Okay, let's see the weight. Ugh.
I said 9.2.
Oh.
Someone guessed 100 pounds. Oh, 9.6.
No.
Is it 90?
It's 9.2.
Like,
We're like well off. Is that kilos though?
Yeah, I think
that's got to be kilos.
I think it's kilos.
Yeah, that's not pounds. So then 9.6. That's you probably. It's around 25 pounds then. Something.
Yeah,
like
20.
That.
Okay, so I was heavy. I guessed heavy, but still, that's
you
so much.
were close. 25. Like those scars are going to be there forever, isn't it?
See, and that's the other
like
thing.
Again,
too.
like this is like. Yeah, go on.
That's the thing too. When you for me, my stomach, man, that needed to be done. I mean, it was in my way. It was terrible. I didn't have my arms have. I mean, you can't see now, but my arms have come back pretty decently. I do kind of joke about my inner thighs. I joke that my knees used to look like pantyhose that needed to be pulled up. But since I've been training and like filling that space back in with muscle, it's helped a lot. But I mean, at the same time, like she needed to have that done. Like that, you weren't going to ever fill in enough muscle to make that right again.
Yeah. And also, like you were saying about losing weight while you're big and like having the extra skin, like, okay, it's great that you can have a skin removal surgery, but then being scarred like that must suck as well, though. Like nobody wants to be scarred, right? For the most part, most people don't want to.
Those scars are gnarly. I mean, if you've ever seen them, and hopefully,
literally.
I mean, and those scars, like, okay, that thigh lift she had done, that's from her knees up the inside of her thigh to her crotch. So think about what that recovery feels like. You're laying on your recliner with your legs out like this, like you do not want them to touch. I mean, it's really painful. I've had several friends who have done it, and man,
yeah, that recovery must be really hard.
I mean, and then for her, having all that removed, she had her arms done, that 360 body lift and her inner thigh lift. Holy cow.
She's probably just like, she probably is just on morphine for fucking months on end.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah.
That's like insane.
Get a morphine pump while she's in the hospital the first couple of days too, just so she stays on it. Cause I cannot imagine. That's insane.
Was it painful for you?
So when I had mine, I have a pretty high pain tolerance, and I kind of think it's because I have rheumatoid arthritis. So I live at a certain level that most people would be uncomfortable and not want to do stuff. When I've had 2 tummy tucks, because the first one, like I said, was functional, and it left me with a really weird scar. Like I was cut from breastbone to pubic bone and hip to hip, and my belly button.
Well, like
my
a cross almost. Or like a T.
Exactly. It was like someone made 4 squares on me, like the way it was done. It was just 4 perfect squares. It looked terrible. And my belly button wasn't round. It was more like long ways. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I mean, I had a flat stomach, but I hated it. So then when I had the revision done to lower my scar where it is now, and then to have my belly button done, I had it done on a Friday. And by Monday, I was back at work. I was managing a dental office at the time, and we wore scrubs, and I had 2 drains, and I just safety pinned them to the inside of my scrubs. And I just, I was sitting like this, but it was fine. I sat at a desk all day. I mean, it was okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I don't know what I'm doing with my hair now. Hold on. So, hitting myself in the head. That's what I'm doing. So, I don't know if you guys have any questions for Tieia. We can do a little bit of a Q&A session before I'm going to go about and probably get ready for bed soon. Because it's getting late for me. I'm a grandma. But let me know if you guys have any questions.
It's 6 o'clock. It's time for Ilona to go to bed.
7:30, actually. I go to bed at like
we're
9
getting
o'clock.
past her bedtime. Oh my gosh. So
somebody is saying tattoos to cover up the scars. You could do. Tattoos are painful, but you look cool with it though. I guess you look cool with scars too. Scars are cool.
Yeah, sometimes. So, I mean, I've seen people like on tummy tuck scars do really pretty like flower vines or something on them. Mine's low enough. I really don't care. And I mean, I've shown my scars on a video, and I mean, they faded a lot. They're really faded.
Yeah.
And I just had more. You guys, I posted that video too of that. I just sat for 9.5 hours for another piece on my sleeve, and that was fine. I mean,
It depends on where you get tattooed.
Yeah, I have a tattoo on the top of my right foot. I would never do that again. That was horrible.
All right, so my mom is going to go. I know of Wendy Ida. She's a black power bodybuilder, female bodybuilder. She's like in the 70s as well, I think, looking really good. But yeah, no worries. I'll see you later. I can cover her some other time if she does videos, but she probably doesn't. I think she probably only does store Instagram, but yeah. All right.
Someone asked how long between my 2 tummy tucks. I had my first one in 2003 and my second one like in 2007 or 2008. So it was long enough. Like the very first time I had it done, Bob said it reminded him of a Barbie doll, like that smooth plastic, and it was like tight, like a drum. Like it looked weird. I mean, it took a while to kind of look like normal skin again, but the second one was great, and it looked normal right away.
Yeah. So what were you saying? You were saying before about your stomach, the other stomach surgery you had done, which was you had a bypass, right?
Yeah. So that was what I was supposed to have.
Okay. Well, what did you end up with instead?
So my surgeon, and I didn't find out about this until like 12 years after the surgery, and I started having, I always had complications. I always seemed like I couldn't eat. Like I had another friend who had it done a week before me. I couldn't eat like her. More foods bothered me. And I was like, what the hell? And I just was like, okay, I'm just one of those people. And I'm like, it's the ultimate behavior modification. So, I can't eat a whole cheesecake because I'll be in the bathroom for an hour sick. So I was like, okay, fine. And then in 2015, I started getting really sick. And what prompted me going to the hospital was my husband was in his office and I walked in there and I was kind of like leaning on the door jamb. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, I really don't feel good. And he goes, what's running down your leg? And I looked down and it was blood. It was blood. And then from there, I don't remember getting to the hospital. I don't remember being in the hospital, but the doctor did an endoscopy and a colonoscopy. And then he did like a barium swallow test so he could see how all of my parts were working or not working. And the one conversation that I remember having with him in the hospital, he came into the recovery room and he was like this, and he was like this really mild-mannered doctor who, like, I joke, I'm like, he wouldn't have said shit if he had a mouthful of it because he just wasn't that kind of guy, and he walked in, he goes, I'm going to be straight with you, Tieia. And I was like, okay. He goes, it's a straight shot from your mouth to your asshole. And I was like, what? And he goes, I don't know how you don't weigh 80 pounds. And I'm like, I guess I'm lucky. I just can graze all day. And he said, but this is ridiculous. He goes, who's your surgeon? You need to find out who he is and you need to sue him. Well, by the time I got out of the hospital and Googled him, because he was in Phoenix, Arizona, he was dead. So I was like, okay, do I want to try to find out who his malpractice insurance was during the time that I had surgery? And at that point, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, I've had friends who say, can't you have a stomach transplant? They don't do stomach transplants because stomachs are not considered a vital organ. You can live without a stomach. So he took my entire stomach out. When you have the procedure I was supposed to have was a Roux-en-Y, which they rarely do anymore now. Most people have gastric sleeve. He did a gastrectomy, which is complete removal of the stomach. There's no pouch left or anything. And then he removed a really large part of my small intestine, which he wasn't supposed to. So I don't understand what happened, because he did several of my friends' surgery. None of them had problems. And I don't know if he just didn't get enough sleep the night before or what the hell happened. But
there's a lot. I can't be fucking bothered with this. Let's just make a shortcut. Let's just start these two together.
You know what?
So is it still like that now?
Huh?
Is it still like that now?
Yeah, it's still like that now. So I do have to eat like every 2 hours, especially trying to gain muscle now. I have to have a timer set that goes off every 2 hours, and I have to eat every 2 hours.
But how can you absorb anything? Like, it must be difficult to absorb food. Or
I'm deficient on a ton of stuff. I have to take 50,000 IUs of vitamin D a week. I take B12 every single day. I'm iron deficient. I have to take iron. And I don't know if any of you guys have taken iron supplements. They stop you up really bad. So you're taking the iron and then you can't go to the bathroom. So then you're having to take something to help you go to the bathroom. So it's like this cycle. You have to be really careful with everything that you're taking and that you're prescribed. So yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, I'm at the doctor at least once a month being checked out.
You really are, probably more than that, I think.
I know. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. I got a doctor's appointment again. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
I don't know if anybody else has got any questions. If you do, pop them in now. Sorry, people are feeling sorry for what happened. You're really upbeat about it, though. You kind of roll, don't you? Like, I think this is why I like you, because you've just had so much shit happen to you in terms of just like from surgeries going wrong to like personal things happening, and you're just really positive, and you kind of don't wallow in victimhood when you easily could. You could easily sit there and be like, oh my God, all these bad things have happened to me and nothing ever goes my way. But you're just like, I've just broken my shoulder again. It is what it is. Kind of got to try to be different.
I mean, like, what else are you gonna do? And it's true. It's like, okay, it kind of is. I kind of think too, being married to my husband, you know, because he's gone so much. Like I have to be like self-sufficient. Like I can't be like, oh, Bob, take care of me. And believe me, when we were in Oklahoma and I was sick, he did a lot of taking care of me. But I don't want to live that way. And I'm just like, okay, there's a reason why. Okay, maybe I need to slow down, and this is why it happened. And I try to be positive and learn from it and be like, okay, here's what we're gonna do, and it's fine. And you know, you get through it, and a lot of times you're better for it. Oh, Siberian Mauler, I love your picture.
That is her as well.
She's freaking gorgeous. Even the face is great. Do you ever feel sad? Okay, so no, I can say no, I don't. Like I was saying earlier, when my coach, I have two coaches. So I have my coach here in Las Vegas, and I have one in California, and she helps me with the supplements and the food. And I have to send her pictures every week. And there are times I'll take the pictures and I cry because I'm like, I'm working so hard. I'm eating like I'm supposed to be, doing all this stuff. And she's like, are you crazy? Like, she'll point out, look at your picture from this week to this week. Like, oh my God, you're making gains. And then, you know, I'll have Marcia will check my body fat. My body fat's gone down. But I really do think it's so in your head where you think I'm supposed to look a certain way, and then you don't. And then you're hard on yourself. Like, I don't know. I hope that I do get to a point where I'm like, okay, I feel like I look good, you know?
Do you feel like, obviously having been obese before, do you feel like even if you lose weight, I think you did kind of touch about it, but do you think you have like a form of body dysmorphia?
Yeah.
Do you see yourself do you still see yourself as like 300 pounds?
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny. So like I wear, okay, like in clothing, so like, okay, like my dresses, most of my dresses are a size 4 in American, which I think is like an 8 in UK. So I wear like a size 4. Jeans are like a size 4 or 6. So I'm just like, oh my God, look at it. But then I'll look in the mirror and I'm like, you look like a fat ass. Like I can't, but who looks like a fat ass if you're in a size 4? Do you know what I mean? So I try to like talk myself out of it, but I'll still be like, oh, you can kind of see I've got this little fat right there. I've never heard of liquid. Oh, yes. Liquid iron. I have heard of it. Do you just get it at like GNC or something like that? Like at a vitamin store? Do you have to get it from your doctor? I wonder.
I don't know. I've never heard of it. I think it's quite normal I don't think many people are ever truly 100% satisfied. I think people can be accepting of their bodies and be like, do you know what? It could be better, it could be worse. But I think few people look at themselves and go like, oh, damn,
I look good
fine today. Oh. I know all the people are going to want me. I'm going to turn all women gay and all the men are going to like, if you think like that, you're kind of
narcissistic.
A bit narcissistic. You're a bit of an asshole, but arrogant, aren't you? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let me have here's a tattoo question.
No, okay, so okay, so what started with my sleeve was the very first one I had done. It was actually the art that was on my husband's jet when we were in Korea. And then of course she's a redhead. So I was like, I need this tattoo. And then I had to like negotiate with my husband over a period of like 12 years to get it because he was like, no, that's so big. And then, you know, now I have a whole sleeve. So this arm is going to be all pinup stuff. In March, then I start tattooing this part, which is going to really suck because that's going to hurt. But I'm doing, when I get done with this one, my left arm is going to be sugar skulls. My mother's from Mexico. No one ever believes that. My father is Irish and my mother's from Mexico. So I'm going to do sugar skulls on my left one and flowers. So I like all of it. And then I have my kids' names down my spine in Japanese. I have a Trinity knot. I have a yin yang on my lower back. I got a tramp stamp on my lower back. Which is funny. I didn't get my first tattoo till I was 30. And then I've just gone crazy.
Yeah.
And then I got Bob to get.
Oh, sorry. They're saying about the iron tablets. You can get them on Amazon, apparently. The liquid iron.
Okay, I'm going to check it out. Thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah. So I think what I'm going to do, so I'm going to end the live stream here, guys. So I'll probably get Tieia on again because this was fun, and we'll find something else fun to react to that is a bit like that. Go and check out her channel. I will link it in the description once this is up and it's been fully processed and all of that. Make sure you like the video before you leave. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And
thank you guys.
No,
thank you so much, you guys. You guys were all so nice in the chat, and this was a lot of fun. This went by really fast. We've been on here for
it really did, actually.
Yeah, it was
really did. So I'm definitely keen to do this again. So, but I do want to go and enjoy some of my evening, eat some food. But yeah, so I'm going to say bye to the chat. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for coming, and I'll be back from next week.
Bye.
All right, let's end the broadcast. We'll go back.